Back to you at 0800 hours 50 minutes, Saturday, April 21st, 2019. Back to commending the cycle, good black men versus bad black men. And it's not a knock at anyone again. It's not a knock. This is the exploration and the discovery and the discussion and the topic of what is good and what is bad. What we perceive to be good, what we perceive to be bad, what we glorify, what we never really took the time out to really discuss. All we did was punch, punch, fight, fight, blame, bang, point, point, or we didn't say nothing at all, which is just as detrimental. I can sweep and then just keep sweeping things under the rug. How much of a change going to happen? So when you lift up that rug, how long did you lift up that rug? 2 years later, 5 years later, 10 years? And we are the after effects. In this one, I want to discuss the part 2 of good black man versus bad black man, or good man versus bad, or good versus bad. The bad. What I have noticed, I have things that I've done in my life, but the things that I've done, it don't make it no better. But I'm trying to think, because everybody on the notion is that nobody is perfect. Everybody did something. And there's people in this world that sit back, which they probably don't care and mind their business, and they don't really interact with the rest of the world. Because they will isolate themselves because they don't want to be called the sin. They don't want to be called the curse. They don't want to be called bad for making a decision that's normal everyday life decision. Because they say, why you don't have this? And people will associate with what you have based on what you did. In some cases, they will even get the notion that's bad. Since you're single and you're at a certain age and you don't have children, we are giving the good men, oh, you should have this by now. Instead of looking at him and saying, okay, you don't have it. But that is even, we confused the word bad with good we had to always draw a fault or a blame to one another. But my understanding, or the talk that we never went over, what is really bad about the things that these black men are doing. Nobody's talking about that. And we do, is glossed over. It's not really deep. It's not really taking the time out to understand that this will hurt another being on this earth. And it causes a dominoes effect. But in the beginning, we're not going to talk about the domino effect. Let's talk about the actions. If you say you're going to do one thing and don't do it, but do it for another, that don't make you bad. It just make you a person. You're just not reliable. But if you are doing things to people that's hurting them physically, mentally, emotionally, that is defined as bad. Am I correct? Is that not a notion of what is bad, what is good? If you're doing things that is helping a person, making them feel good, and you're doing your part, that is most such as good, right? But we have taken that out of the equation. We have not said that is good, that is bad. We did, but in our own mind. So now, and then we had perpetrated. We made it. We came in incognito. We came in as ninjas. We never said, okay, that was wrong of what I've done, so let me stop doing it. So we have passed down to the next generation after generation. And then the one thing we stopped doing is educating and guiding. So imagine if a person keep creating through seed and producing and procreating, and the example before them is not there. What? And we become adults, and I hate this. You pour so much bad into a person, what kind of person you think they're going to become? I'm not talking about becoming better eventually. I'm talking about that person at that moment. What type of person you think a person will come if everything is bad, 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 bad? We didn't pour no love in them, no affection, and no compassion. We always pour hatred, bad, fight, war, angry. We keep pouring that into them, and we keep saying that don't have no effect as an adult. It does. So imagine that person, that little child, is not that way. And they growing up saying, I don't know anything else. I'm trying to be good, but bad is so easy because that's what we poured into them. So we're no longer taking the time out. That's why those words called the power of oneness, I call it dignity. You got dignity, you got patience, you got you got pride. We are not discussing those anymore because we're not utilizing them. And it have a lot of factors in what we were taught, what we were shown. And nobody want to actually examine that because that's too much of a work. But everything else, as in, I can go change my job is easier, or that's not even always easier, or I can just change my character. That's not as always easy as we think it is. We're going to gloss over the bad was done, but we're not going to examine it. And then when that person get to a situation, they're going to need a counsel. Who's their counselor? What are we doing to take that bad away from the next generation to the young men that he's going to bring up or she's going to bring up? When are we going to take responsibility? When are we going to take accountability? And then when we do it, when are we going to shift what we were taught and saying and stop using and this boggles. This is kind of funny how we say the word that's white people talk. I'm white. I'm talking white because I don't want to be punched in the face for no reason. It's bad enough I got to experience racism for the white people talk. And now I'm going to go experience racism, hatred with my own race because I don't desire to hurt another person of my race. And I have an outlook to say, damn, that's wrong. We're still glorifying the wrong that is done to the men. But you want to make him say, you got to name call him. And when you name call him, he's sitting there saying, damn, I'm name called. I didn't do nothing to no one. Now this is not name calling. I can be dry in personality. I can be boring. Or the good can be dry and boring. But why is they called all the names where all they trying to do is feel what they never had? Because they never was glorified. They never had the opportunity or chance. But we also did, a lot of the good didn't think that, damn, the things I'm doing was bad or was going to hurt me in the future of anything part of my life that I'm trying to do with the people that look at me. The good didn't think that. The good was saying, okay, but then he got a rude awakening when he became an adult male. So it was, what did we do with the bad? So that's all I want to speak on that. Just decipher on that, just ponder on that. Let's start making a resolution and resolve. So both sides. I'm gonna come back and do one more, part 3 to this, because this will show that we are the detrimental to our own selves as men. We don't even see that we can unify and align to one another and have a better outcome, have a better diaspora. But it's gonna be a constant battle until we wake up. Hashtag wake up and realize. Hashtag respect each other and do the things we should do. What I say unto one, I say unto all. It's your path, it's your journey, it's your choice. Choose wisely. Say la.